Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Vortie here. We're in the final stretch here of the Titan raid that is going to be leaving us tomorrow. So I'm just going to make a quick video chatting a little bit about saying goodbye to Titan, as well as what's going to be coming out here as well. So as you can see here on the page, I am on Final Fantasy Brave Exvius's Reddit, so shout out to those guys for keeping everything in order as always. If you're looking for the latest information on the game as it kind of comes up, especially right after a patch or some sort of update, this is definitely the best place to find it. And normally there's some good conversation here too, because people do bring up some very interesting dilemmas, and sometimes they give you some really good solutions as far as being able to, for example, some people are asking like how to chain, what's a chain ender, what's a chain beginner, what's the best way for chaining, who are the best units for counting frames and stuff like that. So there's a lot of interesting conversation here. If you are into reading and really researching and being a part of a community, this is a good place to start. So I normally preach about them a lot. I do kind of come in here. I don't contribute a lot. I do sometimes when I see something requires some sort of contribution that I know of, I will try and help out. But most of these guys here are way ahead of me. They know exactly what's going on. So shout out to these guys as always. What I wanted to talk about here is really the maintenance that is happening right now, or happened, and the information that they kind of brought up. So now we know what the global numbers. You can probably hear the chaining in the back. I'm not sure, depending if the music runs over it or not, but on the other screen, which is right there, there is a little bit of Titan fighting happening over there. But anyways, let's focus on the global maintenance sneak peek, or quick peek, as our boy Nazta likes to put it up here. So with the new update, we've gotten information for what Vargas's abilities are going to look like, especially their actual damage figures that we're trying to look for. So looking at a Supreme Blaze, which is going to be his AoE move, in the Japanese version will be the from, and then what it is in the global version is going to be 2. So you can see here he's got a significant buff. It used to be 180%, it is now 250%, okay, which is really crazy. Then Sacred Bravery used to be 160 AoE physical, and then now it's 250. So as you can see, they're really pushing for that global enhancement and making him exactly what they're trying, like what they specified he wanted them to be, which is that AoE physical damage dealer. Which again, in my books right now, I'm not really sure where that fits right now. I mean, like obviously for like the King Mog event we're gonna have right now, if you do get him, you're gonna be able to just AoE the crap out of all the things. This is gonna be a very simple clear, even though it was a very simple clear before. But with him, it's gonna be a joke, even more so, right? But outside of that, you gotta think about it, and think about it like looking at the things that you guys have difficulties in. Trials, right? Raids. Those are normally singular, right? It's just one dude you gotta beat up. Like AoE moves are not really gonna be like that peak of attention for you. You're looking for units that can chain, units that have lots of attack counts, that have element to their count, so that you can actually maybe chain and get an elemental chain out of it as well, right? Weaknesses to the element that they're chaining to, kind of like what Orlando fulfills, right? He does damage, but he also weakens light, so when you give him something like an Excalibur or a light weapon, he's going to be doing, you know, that much more damage. So that's the kind of things we are really looking for as trying to be able to progress through the game, and that's the things that are going to make you really push forward through in the game. So seeing as Vargas is this AoE thing, I really don't know where he's going to fit in right now, unless maybe in the future they're going to be adding some components where you're going to need to do a lot of AoE. I do know that there's a trial where that has some components like that, where you're going to have some AoE in the future, but we're really far away from that unless they bring it sooner. I mean, there is no certain path they're following right now. As you guys know, like, things are all over the place. Asking the question is like, when is Global going to get this, is really at this point going forward from now, it's unknown, because they brought Titan like 6 months earlier, right? So I really don't know how that's going to be. But yeah, anyways, overall he is very strong, and he's going to be very strong for AoE, but what niche he fulfills is going to be very questionable right now. Alright, looking at the changes for Elsa, there's some changes here for Dark Reaper, Ravaging Blow, and Madness Rush. We finally got the numbers here, what they're going to be getting. Getting some significant boosts here, going from 50, 75, and then 100 at +2. So we'll just look at the last ones, the +2's damage in comparison to the original version. So looking at Ravaging Blow here, you're going to get 100% increase, and the debuff is going to get a 10% increase as well, which means instead of being 50% defense and spirit down, it's going to be 60% defense spirit down. This is a very devastating break, okay, because most of the moves we have right now are like around 45, 40, 30%, right, depending which unit you're using. right? Like mostly full break is considered 45%. So looking at a 60% defense spirit break, that is a devastating break to a unit. You break them with 60% and then you have magic casters or physical damage dealers attack those dudes. It's gonna be very bad for that unit if you can apply these 2 breaks on them. So this is very, very good. Madness Rush has had some changes done to itself as well. There's some other additional changes down here, but the attack is now 4 times. It's gone up by 60%. It also reduces 50% dark resistance and self-turn plus 150% limit burst fill, which is 50% from the original one. It's not bad. But what they've put in here, NASA's made a little bit of a note. It says, for the record, small change to Madness Rush. Now uses Elsa's normal hit data, which is 4 hits attack instead of 1 hit attack. Elsa's 6-star frame percent damage hit is now 610, 1565, which is 25% a hit. Yes, this change affects base +1 +2. So the way I'm seeing it, so you can correct me in the comment section below if I'm incorrect. Right now, when Elsa used to attack, it does just 1 attack. But now, when she does her special attack, whatever, you'll see like those little bubbles up here, which is 1 swing does 4 points of damage. Well, it looks like her Madness Rush now is no longer a single attack. It is now the 4-hit attack as her normal attacks were. What does this mean for you in layman terms? She's going to do a hell of a lot more damage per an attack. So that Madness Rush not only got a boost for the +2, where she gets an additional like attack goes in there, but now she's going to run in and do the swing. She'll hit 4 times in 1 swing. Next time she'll go again, another 4, another 4, another 4, right? So if you really calculate it, you're looking at what, like 16 hits or so, approximately, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at, but these other ones are a little bit weaker, right? That's the way I see it. I don't have Elsa. I can't test it. I haven't had her before. I've used her as a friend unit, so I'm not really sure how big of the comparison is going to be. But now that the patch is live, I'll try to get my hands on an Elsa, and if I do find, you know, devastating changes, then I'm going to make sure I let you guys know that this is a huge component that was changed for her. So we're looking at King Mog's gear and equipment that's being dropped. We already know that some of the things are coming out. We just didn't know the prices. So the big ones, the really big ones, is going to be the Demon Horn, the Sun Barrette, and the Lucky Bangles. So now we know what the Lucky Bangles do as well. So let's take a look at the Demon Horn. Demon Horn is the one that gives you 10% attack, and then it gives you 50% Beast Killer for having it as an accessory. It's for a low price. Trust me, this is a very low price. It's 25%. Or 25%, 25,000 Crimson Ore, which is really good for an item of this caliber. That is very cheap. This is going to be, if you don't get this item, like, honestly, you're going to be setting yourself back a lot. You should definitely pick this up. Same thing with the Sun Bread, is another 25,000 attack, 10%, and then you get that Demon Killer, which is just insane. Those 2 items are incredible, honestly. Very good items. You guys should pick them up as soon as possible. Now we're looking at the last item here. We didn't know what the Lucky Bangles did, but now for a low price of 35,000, again a low price, because we've had crappier weapons that did less effects for like a lot more. So this is very good. You're looking at defense and spirit +10, solid stat, and then getting the effect of Miracle's Blessing, which is 10% physical and magic evade. That is godly. That is very godly. It is another evasion item that you can put on yourself. It is an accessory. So if you have like the die from Sahaza, as well as you know, any other items on there that helping you, this is going to just make it that much easier for you guys. It's going to be fantastic. So again, these 3 items, I'm glad he put them into a separate bracket. You should get these. These 3 here, these 3 bad boys here are a must have. Must have. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and focus on that. A must have. Okay guys, I don't know, I can't emphasize it anymore. You should, when you're doing your calculations, like I will say at the end of the video, you should make a plan of attack on what you're gonna do. The plan of attack right now is going to be to try and get those items. Obviously, the first thing you should do before any of this, and I don't have to tell you this, you guys should be smart enough to figure that out already, and I know you guys are, because most of you do the same thing I do. The second you get in there, the first sets of points you get, you're going to buy all the summoning tickets, so you can use those tickets to get more thing. It's never been more valuable than now, because Tillith is there, you want that unit, right? And if you get a Rainbow and you end up getting Elsa, you're gonna be very happy. If you got Vargas, the new unit too, I mean, like, he's not that bad. It just, you know, he doesn't have a position yet, but who knows in the future, right? They're probably gearing him up for some reason, so you should be very happy either way. Overall, the banner is really good. The TMs are really good as well, so that's what you're gonna do. But right after that, you should get these items right away. Okay, the next things here is going to be the King Mog exchange for the other items that we know about. So these are returning, so from the looks of it, this is a good time to be able to pick up another set of these. These are very cheap, you should pick them up. So Lad Miraz is a spear that does ice damage. It's very good, so pick that up. And the other one here is the sword, it's Vernard. Vernard is a fire-based sword. You should pick that up as well. I picked them up before. I was very happy to have them because the elemental items are very specific. But there is some events when you're going to have a dude who is weak to fire, and you're going to use that and you're going to devastate that monster. However, if he's not immune to fire, you can still use it. If your unit can do some chaining, you're going to get some elemental chaining. And if you can get high chains, that elemental chain is going to demolish that monster, even though they're not weak to it, right? And you can become a little bit more specific and bring units that break that element, or just use Imperil, like, you know, whatevs. You got Vargas's limited materia, it's 10,000, which is in line with everything else. And it tells you here what it does: 160% AoE hit physical attack, and it's an AoE break for 30%, which is okay, whatever. Tablet of the Ruin, it is stackable. This is one of the questions that people are wondering: is Tablet of Ruin stackable? It is stackable, so you can pick up as many of these as you can carry. Take them and run. Especially if you have Elsa, you should take them and run. This is a very good one for Elsa. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, like, I don't have her, so I don't really know the huge potential you can get from her, but this is a good good material to have. It is only for Elsa, though. Then you're looking at Demonic Life, which is the one when your hit points is less than 50%, you will get an increase of all stats, the attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 40%. Again, like I said in my preview or review video for the banner and the event, this is one of those things that's specific, and you know, if you know that your tank is always going to be in a position where his hit points are very low, you want to take this. This bonus takes effect second your unit gets below 50%. So let's say you're in the middle of a fight and you're fighting something like the teacher's, what is it, the new one called? Octopus Teacher, or whatever it's called. The one with the new trial, let's call it that. The new trial, right off the bat, he just starts whacking you, and he keeps attacking. He attacks so many times. Second your tank that's wearing this, or unit that's wearing this, takes the effect, if they go below 50%, they now have a 40% boost in all their stats. Alright, and if you want to be really smart, if you're going to be attacking that turn, don't heal yet. Have your units that are attacking attack first, and then do your healing after the fact, if you know you're going to be attacking that turn, because you're going to get an increase of 40% for that thing. The one thing that I know from before, the reason this material wasn't very powerful, if you have a buff on your unit, like let's say Embolden or something, and this takes effect, I don't think these two effects stack. Unless I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below. But when this event came out, I remember that used to be one of the conversations that was on Reddit, and I think people said in general I don't think it stacks. So that's kind of how that is. Then you're looking at the other materials here. Destroyer's Authority, which is 10% hit points, 5% attack and magic. Guardian's Authority is 10% hit points and 5% defense and spirit. Again, if you're gonna pick up some of these, I would pick up about 4 or 8 are really good to pick up for these if you don't have an alternative already. If you have alternatives, don't worry about it. But again, hit points, defense, and spirit is really nice to have. Attack and magic 5%. I think you can avoid the Destroyer's Authority, but Guardian's Authority is going to be a lot more beneficial for you if you're going to stack them up. And again, the prices are very reasonable. 15,000 for hit points, I wouldn't go for this. 15% for magic, I wouldn't go for this. The reason why, if you have extra, then buy them, but I would focus on this right away. And then looking at, like, you know, some of like the weapons, like these 4 here are really good, and then, you know, these are up to you depending on what you have, if you have the units available. And then to finish up this video, we're going to look at Maxwell's Trial. The original Maxwell Trial will be returning, so therefore you can acquire Maxwell if you have not acquired her, just like myself. I need to get her, so I'll be making a video on myself achieving that as well. And then they also have an elite version, which is like makes her a little bit stronger, but the mission rewards are actually pretty good. For clearing it, you get 15,000 Crimson Ore, which is really good because we need those items. Killing with an Esper will give you a burst pot, which is fine because if you don't do it, you're not losing a lot. It's just a burst pot. If nobody dies, you will get a Trust Move. This one is a little bit tricky because Maxwell is a tricky cat, so we'll have to see exactly how that works out. And because she is immune to light, so you can't just go out there and blow her up with Orlando, right? You're going to need to use units like Elsa or something to try and get that dark damage out there. Party of 5 or less, again, not too difficult. Honestly, the most difficult one here is going to be the nobody dies, because she is very tricky from what I remember. Back then I was a new player and I got my butt handed into it. There's a few things here on bundles. I will not cover this because I'm not trying to encourage people to buy things. Overall, the bundles are in line with all the other bundles we're getting as the King Mog events come. They're specific to those units for leveling them up as well as the costs for, the enhancements for the units are up as well. Clouds of Darknesses and stuff like that. Really the only ones we should be looking at is Furion and probably Ace. Alright, so that is that for that. The last thing here is I'm just going to open this up here. Normally I start the video with me fighting Titan or someone, but in this case, I'm not gonna do that. I already had it pulled up on the other side. I was like, well, I'll just do something else. So my current ranking is 17,000. I'm only doing the orbs when I get them, when I remember to do them. So I'm about 17,000. The ranking rewards are pretty good for those that are in the first. They get some 4-star guaranteed crystals, or sorry, tickets, which is really good. But overall, looking at 17,000, we'll be getting 2 summon tickets at least, which would be really great for trying to get Tillith. That's where I am with that. And the last thing here before I let you guys go is going to be the announcement today. We heard about this in the video. Somebody was asking a question, will we get to design our own units and see if they can get it into the game? Well, they have finally introduced that. If you have any ideas, you can go and draw those up, set them up, and send them to them on their Facebook page there and be a part of that event. And if you're the lucky chosen person, they're gonna take the unit you create and they're gonna implement it into the game, and that's gonna be absolutely amazing. So that is one of the last things I'll leave there for you guys. If you're interested in that, make sure you participate. It is a very, very cool contest. They did something like this in the Japanese version, and like the 3 or 4 units that came out of it were amazing. They looked really, really cool. I didn't use them, and because I can't, my Japanese is very weak. I don't really how can I say it? I can't really understand all the components of what they're trying to explain into it, and I'm not gonna go out there and try and spend 3 or 4 hours to translate it for myself just to get it. I don't care that much, because I do play the global version more. So I want to see exactly where we're gonna come up here in the global version. So good luck to you guys if you participate in that. I'm thinking about it. I might try and maybe design 1 or 2 units and kind of throw it that way and see what they think. And that way I will also make a video of it on my channel here if I do participate. Let you guys know what I am going to be submitting. And if you guys are submitting something, let me know in the comment section below. Share it with our crew here, with our little gang, and see what else we can help you. Maybe we can suggest some things to make your unit better. Alright guys, thank you so much for sticking around. Let me know what you guys think of the event. Do you think the prices are reasonable? I personally do. And let me know if you're going to be participating in the contest. I would really, really love to hear from you guys if that's what you're going to be doing, because I think that is absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. This is Vortie. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out of here. Peace!